who he is as a person. So, I mean, I love just, it definitely makes me grow and helps me learn more and pushes me to be better.
How can you describe you as a linebacker? Your main values as a linebacker.
My main what?
Values. How can
Values?
you describe you as a linebacker?
I feel like I'm pretty fast. I feel like, got good versatility. Can run. I said that. I don't know, I got good hips. I can move. I can cover. I can tackle in space. Tackle in the box. I'm not really a rusher, but I don't know. Physical. Got good, good hands. I don't know.
The last one. How can you stop an extremely creative play caller as Andy Reid?
Andy Reid's so smart that he's able to do. Him and Patrick is able to get, the right play call based off disguises and look. You don't really slow them down. You just gotta be aware of what it is that they're trying to attack in the defense. And if it is a hole in that particular spot, then you gotta be ready to rally and make a tackle in space. I appreciate it.
How are you?
I'm glad you're doing, man.
Doing well.
Yes, sir. Solid.
Now that we're getting closer to game time, I've never really had a chance to ask you about what you do before a game to get into the headspace that you need to be in to play a game. Charvarius yesterday said he throws up before a game.
He throws up.
Yeah, that's what he said. I think I've seen George slam his helmet against the wall in the locker room. I mean, all these guys do different stuff to get into that football headspace. Is there anything about your routine?
Yeah, I kind of do a lot of stuff. It just kind of come natural, but I guess it's a routine because I've been doing it naturally for a long time. But I mean, I beat my head sometimes. I don't know. I beat my head. It's kind of hard to explain because it's like my ritual. So you know what I mean? It's like, but I mean, I don't know. Kind of just like yell a little bit. Kind of like gotta let out a nice little sniff some salt.
Bosa does that, right?
Salt to the head, usually does it. That's probably about it.
Well, stretching it out a little bit further, what is Saturday and then the early parts of Sunday going to look like for you as far as just getting into the right mental headspace for a game this big?
Yeah, just by myself, just visualizing and just visualizing. I do a lot of visualizing before the game, just in my head, just kind of naturally, just always thinking about football.
Is the visualizing basically taking all that you've watched on tape and done at practice and then just being able to kind of close your eyes and
not
act
exactly.
it out? Yeah.
It's more like just visualizing, just running as hard as I can into somebody or getting a pick, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those, I like visualizing just smacking somebody.
Did you visualize one of your picks this playoffs?
It's a weird feeling. I didn't visualize it, but it's kind of like you just know when you feel good. It's kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like you're ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It just feels like let's go.
So are nerves part of being ready? Like, do you want to be a little nervous?
Yeah. You definitely want to be a little nervous. I get a little nervous, I think. So I don't know. I kind of like going to like a dark wall for a minute, so I don't even remember like if I'm really nervous. Like I think I'm nervous. I'm nervous a little bit, but I just want to run. That'll get the nerves out.
How were you guys at halftime against the Lions? Do you remember how Kyle was? Do you remember how you guys were?
Yeah, I remember exactly. I just remember sitting down and just kind of not really a lot of people sitting in the middle where we usually are. It's kind of me, Fred, and a couple other people, and everybody sitting around normally. Or that's how they were. They were sitting around and kind of just a good couple minutes went by. And I remember Fred saying something. I remember I said something. Somebody else said something. And then Fred got up in the middle. He said a lot, but he said a little at the same time. It's kind of But I mean, it was kind of just like a deal to where it's like, okay, we're down now. Now it's like nothing to lose. Let's go out here. And that's just, I'm talking about, let's go fight like wartime. It was fun actually.
What did you say?
I told you that's part of that dark spot that I was kind of in. And I don't really remember. It wasn't nothing crazy though.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, it was very calming because it was like, well, you know, when teams are making like, you know, or gashing and doing stuff, it's kind of like, you know, that's not really how it's supposed to be, or that's not how it really is. It seems so much worse than it really is. You just tackle the guy, or, you know, but it's kind of like, all right, calm down. Let's do this. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. And, you know, you got to come with a great second half game plan to get it right, and there you go.
And can that make you guys more powerful to go through that shit and Green Bay?
Yeah, for sure, because you know that no matter what, when it's like, okay, I mean, I don't know if it took the half-point mark or whatever it is, but, you know, when you got that last moment with your brothers and it's like, all right, what we going to do? Okay, well, I'm finna give it all I got. What about you? I'm finna give it all I got. Okay, I'm finna give it all I got. Okay, then you know the time it is, and it's kind of like unsaid, but you know, like, you know, it's because the same guys work every day like that. You know what I mean? So that's what we better see. You know what I'm saying? We better see you working.
I talked to Chris Kasarik yesterday. Said that in big games like this, he's motivated and he wants to win for the guys that he coached on like the 2019 team that are no longer with the team anymore. As a player, in a big game like this, does that motivate you too? Because you talk about the brotherhood that you have with your current teammates, but maybe some of the guys that were on the 19 team that aren't here anymore, are they part of this as well?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the guys that was here in 2019, I'm pretty sure they want to go. They ready to play too.
Hey Dre, I was talking to Luke Kuechly, familiar with the Panthers linebacker. We were talking about, you know, Fred Warner, and he goes, man, you can't talk about Fred without talking about Dre. And he compared you.
That's my dog. I love Luke Kuechly, man.
He compared you to Thomas Davis, and, you know, a great all-pro linebacker that he played with. What's it like, you know, I mean, he gave you a ton of praise.
Man, that's crazy.
What's it like, you know, hearing from a guy who should be a Hall of Famer? We'll see.
Oh, he gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
And just like Luke Kuechly, one of them dudes that, man, just like I'm talking about, probably just one of the all-around best linebackers that you're gonna be able to find in the game. Just how smart he was, how he hit, and how, I mean, I would say his speed. He was a good runner, you know what I'm saying, could run 4-5 guy, and just I don't know. I used to watch that dude on film, and I just know I can't do some of the stuff that he doing. Like, but I remember it was one play versus the Cowboys, and he like, you know, fade inside, came in, did something, you know, did some crazy stuff, kind of under the dig or something. And I've been knowing him because my favorite duo is Kuechly and Davis. Those are two guys that when I started watching football, like. When I started, because I was a safety, I watched safeties, Honey Badger, all them. But once I got moved to linebacker, Kuechly, Thomas, Quan, and the Buccaneers, because my coach came from the Buccaneers. So, but those, the Kuechly and Thomas, and to be particular, oh my God, like for him to say that though, that's like.
Do you see any similarities in your game with Thomas? Like, do you see that?
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I'm trying to tell you, like I watched I think it's the Broncos versus Panthers Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what year it was. But I watched that probably like every other night. Like that's because I was a big fan of their defense. So yeah, that's cool.
Who were you like as a safety?
My favorite was the guy from LSU, Eric Reed. I used to watch him. He actually played.
Eric Reed, yeah, he played here, yeah.
So I watched him a lot more when he was at LSU, just like because I wasn't like an LSU fan, but for some reason like they just always got like the best DBs and stuff like that. So like I started watching a lot of him, but Honey Badger, so a lot of like LSU guys. And yeah, I was a big Honey Badger fan just because the way that he played the game. I mean, it was unbelievable. So, but yeah.
How about Willis and Bowman? I know Willis is a chance to get in.
I didn't watch a lot of them. I watched more when I was younger. I was honestly watching more often. So when I was watching them at the time, I was actually like watching Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? So I was like a Kaepernick fan. So I really wasn't like. I was a defensive fan, you know what I mean? But I'm young. Like, I didn't really watch football growing up, so I'm looking at it like how fans would look at it when they first watch it. Like, hey, it's a quarterback, you know what I mean? The receivers, you know what I mean? So, but Patrick, though, I mean, I knew about his story before I really knew him and how he played as a player. And after I knew about his story, I was kind of I didn't watch football until like 10th, 11th grade. Knew about his story, but then it was really like after he got done playing that I really started respecting him more as a player, because I think it was like his last year. I think, what was it, 2012 was the last year or 2013?
I think 14.
14 was?
Yeah.
Well, I watched him. I started really watching football in 2012 in that Super Bowl year.
That was his prime, yeah, right there.
So that's when I started watching like football, and I was like in 10th grade at the time. So like everything was kind of still all new, but I was starting to get to know like, oh, this is who this is, this is who this is. But I knew who Patrick was just because based off the story.
So you used to like quarterbacks, and then you were like,
oh, I love quarterbacks. So I thought I was going to play quarterback because
You did play, right?
I did play quarterback. So I thought at the time when I was going to Fayetteville, I was third string behind Austin, and Austin was leaving, and we was battling for number 2 and all this, and I'm playing defense at the same time, and they're like, all right, you want defense. I definitely couldn't have done it. Like, I wasn't the guy, but I couldn't have done it. Let me correct that. But I mean, it was still fun always to just be on the offensive side. I do receivers in the morning, play running back. Like, I just love getting the ball in my hands.
And you're a lefty too, Steve Young.
No doubt.
Got it.
So, I love it. I love football, bro. So,
Thanks, Dre.
Thank
We're all
you.
good.
see you Sunday, man.
yeah, appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah.